Quick and easy today, traders. Let's do it. Happy Wednesday to you. It is the JP Oscillator. How exciting does that sound? Well, we've been working with some indicators that have had a lot of moving parts to it, a little more complexity than usual. So it's nice to kind of go back to basics here and just do something really easy and see how it performs. Spoiler alert, if it didn't perform pretty well, it wouldn't be on here. But let's go ahead and move on. If you are new, welcome. This is the #1 indicator channel in all of YouTube. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. But nothing is going to make sense to you unless you go here first. NoNonsenseForex.com. Read the first page, watch that first video, and get caught up. Yes, it's going to take a while. Yes, it is worth it. Moving on. Specs for the JP Oscillator are as follows. Year is going to be 2012, well within the 1996 and on threshold. We like to see here on the channel. Type's going to be a confirmation indicator and a very simple zero cross. As far as exits go, I mean, you could, but I think there are far better options out there. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Pretty darn easy, right? I actually don't think this is the default version. I think this is the version after you smooth it out a bit, but that's good. It'll be easier to look at. So what we do here is when price crosses and closes above this zero line, that is your signal to go long. And then when it does the opposite right here, that is your signal to go short. There was really nothing else to say about the JP Oscillator. Like I said, nice and easy this week. So let's go ahead and see how it performs. Now, just so you know, before we do that, sometimes you see results which are quite disappointing. Sometimes you see results which are quite anomalous. And the good news is, or the bad news is none of it really matters at the end of the day. All that matters is how it performs in your system. That should be the very next thing you do after you watch this video. Well, maybe not the very next thing. There are some other options for you. First of all, if you don't know how to test these, we show you how. I give you a link to my automation blog, which has an embedded video showing you how to test this on the MT4 strategy tester. You can always go to the blog. Most people do, because you're going to want to see the tweak settings that we use. On top of any other bonus information you're going to want to know about this indicator. Now, if you want to see it move in real time and get your information in video form, Dan Stone of Stonehill Forex, who does most of our testing, has his own YouTube channel. You can see this thing move in real time to show that it doesn't repaint, to show that it's legit, and he always adds in some information that you may not be getting here on my channel. Now, if you would like us to test one of your favorite indicators, there's a place where you send that to, not my comment section. It is a secondary email address. We can send it directly to Dan. And if it makes the cut, we will test it. We have done 4 or 5 so far, user submissions, and they have all been very good. So we thank you for that. And then don't forget the most popular place in all of the information superhighway. It is the link to my indicator library. I shouldn't say mine, it's Dan's. But there you can download the JP Oscillator and every indicator we have profiled here. On the indicator profile series, let's go ahead and move on to EURUSD. And this is what we've been seeing lately. We've seen very high, like WTF win-loss ratios, and then an ROI that kind of trails a little bit. That would be a below average ROI from what we've seen on this channel in the past. And just nothing much to write home about yet on the 4-hour on the EURUSD. But like I've said before too, if there is legitimacy here, and anytime I see numbers like this, I'm like, Dan, go check this. And he always comes back and he says, hey, it's good to go. If you have something with that level of hit rate, it really is mostly up to the market after that in terms of what it gives you. You know, you can squeeze out a few more percentage points here and there and cut more losses depending on your exit indicator or your method of profit taking. But you can't squeeze blood out of a rock sometimes. So that's just what's going on in a lot of these markets. But not gold. Gold has been a bit of an anomaly for us because you're usually getting a win-loss ratio under 50%, but you're getting really great follow-through. And gold traders and gold investors all know how well gold has done in the past 12 months. So having higher results like this shouldn't surprise you, but 33% ROI in one pair with one indicator is awfully nice. Now moving over to the S&P, and you guys know if you trade indices or if you're just even looking at the S&P or if you're a big board stock investor, this has not given you a lot of follow-through. It's been very slow movement up, mixed with some quicker moves to the downside, which is not always what you want as a trader. Sometimes that can wreak havoc on your system. And keep in mind too, we've actually had this indicator queued up for a little bit now. So this was all done before the last drop we just saw in the market. Remember that too when we get to Bitcoin. But despite all that, hitting over 2 out of 3 trades is pretty good. The ROI is not. It's a little better than some of the ones we've seen lately, but you guys know when the market starts going, and when panic sets in especially, this thing's really going to start to take off. So get your indicators and get your system lined up now. We have seen record lows in the VIX up until recently, and that is reflective in the follow-through you're getting with this ROI. Finishing off with Bitcoin. Dan, what is going on here? I mean, it's not the highest amount of total trades, so you're more likely to see numbers like this. If this was like 40 or 45 total trades, I wouldn't even put this up here because no matter what you showed me, I wouldn't even believe that you could get something like this. But an ROI close to what we've been seeing lately in Bitcoin. But again, with that type of win-loss ratio, this is something you can really use and really carry forward. Because let's say over time that win-loss ratio even drops down all the way down to like 60, loses 28, 29 percentage points off of what we're showing you right now. You still have one indicator that is hitting at a 60% clip before you even add other pieces to it. So even though this is what we really want at the end of the day, understand the factors that go into it and understand that this can be pretty great too. Even if the 12-month sample size we're dealing with right now might be a bit anomalous, take these things seriously and make sure you are testing all of these in your own system. If you can do that, we'll keep bringing it. Subscribe, hit the bell. There is so much we give you here for free. You have the Trading Psychology podcast every other Monday, Indicator Profile Series every other Wednesday, blog sometimes on Thursday. I haven't done one in a while. I'm not sure how this week's going to play out. But even if you go back and run searches on that blog, we have given some heat as far as information goes on the blog that we have not given in videos. So make sure you're going there. And it's the podcast that just keeps growing and growing. It's the 10-Minute Contrarian Investing podcast that we have every single Saturday. Don't miss a thing and go get it.